Here, your favorite NLP coach, your favorite trading psychologist. Today it's a green day, and you know what I say? Green keeps depression away. And that's very funny because often we just need a few green days, and people they tend to forget the huge downtrend they have been in since basically 2021, especially if you're into altcoins. There is this false notion going around in the crypto space for a long time that Bitcoin doesn't make you rich. The fact is, being fully positioned into other things like altcoins makes you actually poor because, well, we all know it. Altcoins haven't been performing quite good. So we have a lot of business to discuss. We have Ethereum, Bitcoin to discuss, Ethereum against USDT, the Bitcoin chart, of course, and maybe some other charts as well. By the way, if you are well mannered, you know what to do. Hit that like button. If you're not well mannered, well, then you're just an asshole listening to this recording. And those who want me to chart anything, could be stocks, could be altcoins, Bitcoin, or whatsoever, leave it in the comments. I will promise you, I will pick up all the chart requests. So, we have a lot of business to discuss, and one of the things we must discuss right now is Ethereum. Ethereum, and again, Ethereum. I've been sharing this chart last week. My last update was from last week. What have we discussed last time? And this is really important. We have discussed the following. This is a what? A bearish trend, as you can see. This is a parabola, a bearish parabola. And the acceleration, the speed of this parabola intensified starting from July 2024. It only got worse. It was already underperforming against Bitcoin, but here it just got worse. And now Ethereum has been trading outside of this parabola, and this is probably the fourth week outside of this parabola, and that's a good shift. Also, if you look this from a EMA perspective, finally it's also trading above the 12 EMA. The red line is the 21 EMA. I would love to see Ethereum against Bitcoin trading above the 21 EMA in June or even in July. Also, very important is to notice this structure. Please make yourself familiar and try to recognize this structure. This is a shift in market structure. This is finally the real next significant higher low. It's trading above this parabola. This gray box, see it as an SNR level. A good reclaim of this would push and could push Ethereum to higher price levels. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ethereum going higher in the next few weeks and months. We need to stay above this gray box, having a few candle closes below. That would be extremely ugly. So, all with all, if you look at this chart, there are very strong clues that the parabola is over. It's actually over, I would say. But for further continuation, we need to stay, especially in the daily, above this gray box. Also, from the RSI perspective, what do we see here? We see a major downtrend. Just focus on the RSI alone. We see a major downtrend, and we see that the RSI is curling up, heading to the upside since April, which is a good sign. It broke out from this RSI trend line. Remember this point, May 2024. What do we have here? Also May 2024, area time. And this was when that downtrend only got worse, right? The momentum was extremely bearish here. And now we have this uptrend, finally, this breakout on the RSI, which is a very good sign. But still, it's still trading above the 50 level. And you guys know my principle. Anything on the weekly that trades or that's moving below the RSI 50 level, it's not really a good sign. But this is a sign of a potential, reversal. So I tend to believe that this is a reversal in the make, which is a good thing. Now we have Ethereum against, USDT. When things are getting complex and complicated, my goal is to simplify things. I like structure. I like to simplify things for myself. And in this situation, I tend to ask myself, what's going on? What's going on with the psychology of other investors? How do they feel and think about Ethereum? Where are they about to take profit? I have three key levels. The first one, and this is the most significant one, is this gray box, which represents a very important multi-year, listen, multi-year SNR level. This is a level, you know how many days old this is? 1,560 days, more or less. That's a lot of days. And the older something gets, the more significant it becomes. I was actually surprised that it quickly pierced through this SNR level, but this here is the next resistance level. There is this notion where people tend to think price action below resistance is bullish. No, not per se. Price action below resistance is still resistance. Point. Nothing to add. Price action below resistance is still resistance until proven otherwise. But we do see here a potential W pattern below resistance. This could increase the probability that we're gonna witness a breakout, meaning to the upside, in the next few weeks. This is definitely not a place where I want to open shorts. By the way, I do not like to short in the crypto space at all. But this is a resistance level. And if we can get out or break out from this level, likely we're gonna head in towards this next major resistance level. And call me crazy or delusional or stupid, but I do believe that once Ethereum can break out from this, major resistance level based on FIPS on the log scale, let me cross check if this is still on the log scale. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised really to see Ethereum trading around 8K. I really wouldn't be surprised at all. I may sound a little bit delusional. I know a lot of traders and investors have been massively disappointed when it comes to Ethereum, but hey, that's what the markets do. They love to disappoint people and understand that vertical price movements happen very quickly, very fast, and very aggressively, meaning a lot of traders and investors, they will be sidelined watching the fireworks happening in front of them. So with that said, keep an eye on Ethereum. If someone would ask me, Jamie, you go now long or short and you must do one of the two, otherwise we're gonna kill you, I would say I'm gonna long this and have my stop loss, around, what would it be? Around the 2,400, 2,300, more or less, 280 are from this current price level. Real fireworks really happens when we get across. When we can cross this resistance level. So this is Ethereum in a nutshell. I do not believe it looks really that bad. What I would love to see is, look, it got rejected here, here, and here, right? And on the RSI, you can see a clear what? A clear downtrend, right? And what's my general rule? RSI on the weekly below the 50 level, bad. Above the 50 level, promising or good. So what's happening here? Finally, we crossed the 50 level on the weekly, still curling up. If we can get this RSI breakout, um, that would really increase the probability that it will stay longer above the 50 level, and that this major resistance level is just a matter of time before we tap into that level. So Bitcoin, very quickly, this is a chart I've been sharing for a long and really a long time. It basically represents the 4-year cycle. Some might argue the 4-year cycle is that. Well, could be, maybe yes, maybe no, but we're still actually on track. I mean, how you measure actually cycles from a psychoanalysis perspective is from the low to the low, not from the low to the high. It doesn't work like that. It's from the low to the low. And normally a cycle lasts for 1,421 days. We have seen it in the previous cycles as well, meaning we could expect a cycle low next year in 2026. Is this guaranteed? No, it's just a maybe, a probably, yes. It's definitely a possibility. Also, from a price action perspective, this value line is still intact, and normally Bitcoin makes like a top 500-600 days, actually to be more precise, 520 days after the halving. I know the landscape is very different compared to the previous cycles. We have now, different ETF issuers. They scooped up 1.3 million Bitcoins. Countries are buying Bitcoin. Institutions are buying Bitcoin. With institutions, I mean, public companies, private companies. So yes, the landscape changed, but you cannot rule out this potential, this potential scenario. The next chart I would love to share is this chart. You guys have seen this chart for a long time. What I'm trying to say and to showcase with this specific chart is very easy, okay? More often than not, Bitcoin is ranging. And when things are ranging in this typical environment, what's happening with altcoin maxis or altcoin traders, or better said, altcoin investors, who have the false notion that Bitcoin doesn't make you rich? They get poor. People are losing patience. People are giving up on crypto. And this is the irony. People are giving up on crypto while Bitcoin is making higher lows and higher highs. And the dominant trend, the secular trend, is still a uptrend. The irony. It's who could ever thought that? It's very simple, of course. The institutional buying appetite is extremely strong, historically strong, and I do believe this will continue. So, what's next for Bitcoin? I mean, if this is a legit breakout, I do see Bitcoin heading towards this target based on classical trading principles or TA principles and Fibonacci extension. Let me go here to the daily. I mean, this could be like a throwback. We could retest this level again. If there's enough buying appetite, enough buying pressure, I believe we could quickly see a strong vertical move to the upside here. And I mean, these strong vertical moves often happen very quickly, leaving a lot of investors sidelined. Just like what happened here to here. Long, boring consolidation. So many people gave up on crypto. Typically, you have these swing failure patterns, and I like to trade when things are at the extremes. This wasn't a good example. This, by the way, as well. This as well. My trading plan, I have put a lot of attention and strategies around swing failure patterns. because I love to be on the other side when people are too optimistic or too afraid. Remember this. This is like one-on-one market psychology. If the majority is bullish, who is left to join that bullish trend? Or the other way around. If everyone is bearish, who is left there to, continue selling and shorting? Reverse thinking. I like what I'm seeing here. I see here a potential what? A potential throwback. Throwback, what does it actually mean? It's actually another fancy word for a bullish retest. I believe this looks very good. This is basically from another perspective. Um, Horizontal. This is a weekly candle, probably closing like this would mean a new weekly close, all-time high close. So what else is there left to discuss? We have Bitcoin dominance. Look, I have like two Bitcoin dominance charts I often love to check. It's the one without the stables. It's still 68.3%, still very strong. And we could see a higher low, like this. Just like what happened here, just like what happened here, just like what happened here. This is basically your what? That's your alt season. That's basically your alt season. And with alt season, I mean, what's very important is the meaning you give to words. Alt season, in my opinion, doesn't mean all the altcoins are going back to their all-time highs. No. It means there's a lot of opportunity by investing and swing trading or positioning into altcoins and then getting out and still making a lot of money. That's my definition now of altcoin season. A good example is, for example, peak. I do not see that peak quickly in 2-3 months is taking out these highs. No, I believe that people who both peak, for example, here, this level, yeah, or maybe I should do it like this. Makes more sense. Everyone who bought here, I feel sorry for them because if peak goes higher, for example, reclaiming different levels like this, that's basically your alt season. I mean, if you're really aiming for that for the 5 or 10x, really you're too greedy. I mean, it's possible, but please take profit on the way up. As always, take profit on the way up. It's the only way how you can survive this game. Take profits on the way up. And even if it is going towards this year high, you still can consider it as a all season. And I believe those who bought the top, they will be in loss. They're suffering losses that cannot be compensated by just hodling things. I do not believe in an altcoin season a la 2017 or 2021. I believe these times are over. I do not rule out that 10x or 20x or even 1x is impossible. It's still possible, but the reality is a lot of bitcoins have been purchased through ETFs and companies, and they typically do not sell their bitcoins for altcoins. You do not see strategies selling Bitcoin for Litecoin, for example. You do not see someone who purchased the ETFs selling that, okay, and then buying altcoins. It's just impossible. I mean, these kind of investors have a very different DNA, different blood type, if you will. They are way different than the average crypto bro. Keep that in mind, and also keep in mind, altcoin season possible, but be careful with the meaning you are attaching to altcoin season. Very important. So this is the altcoin season without the stables. I believe that this is the what I would call like the more pure Bitcoin dominance. This is another one. No, it's not another one. This is just the normal regular Bitcoin dominance at the moment, sitting at 63%. We see a bearish divergence forming, which is a really good thing. Possibly, opening the gateways for a potential altcoin season. And again, altcoin season, be careful with the meaning you're attaching to altcoin season. In my opinion, as the recent history has shown us, consider it as a temporary altcoin season where some altcoins, especially the major ones could do 2, 3, 4x, but no way I believe that they will go back to their all-time high, as in 23 or 21 all-time high. It depends, of course, which altcoin you're talking about. Even Doge, I mean, look, this is Doge. I look where it is right now. I do not believe that it could take out this high, but really going to $1. I mean, I could remember that when Doge was trading here in 2021, there was a big group talking about Doge going to $1. Remember this. Please write this down. Write this down. This is trading wisdom. The higher the price goes, the higher people's predictions go. Okay? Why? It's mainly because of recency bias and confirmation bias. All the information you will get about your specific altcoin, for example, Doge, not going to all-time high, you're going to filter that out subconsciously. And recency bias will make you believe that the current trend will continue, and even in a stronger fashion. What does it happen? What does it mean when you think and believe things will go higher? You will not feel motivated or inspired to take profit because you have created in your head a very vivid scenario where your altcoin will be much more worth. And this is a very bad mindset. Do please understand also this: knowing and doing is the exactly opposite, right? You might know this now, but it doesn't mean you're gonna act upon that. The only way how you can survive, ladies and gentlemen, last time I will repeat this, is actually to make a plan, a written plan. If you have invested good amount of money, let's say 4,000 euros is a lot of money, or 10,000 euros or $10,000, and you're in profit, please have a predetermined level in your mind where you want to take profit, also technical levels, and take profit on the way up. It's the only way you can survive. I wish many of you will also be in this space, not only this year, but also 5 years from now or 10 years from now, and making a lot of money, a lot of money. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, be well-mannered, be a good guy or a good girl. Leave a comment if you want, but hit that like button for your Jimmy boy, your favorite NLP coach, your favorite trading psychologist. Again, if there are any trading or chart requests or requests in general, drop them in the comments. I read every single one of them. Until the next time, God bless. See you around, ladies and gentlemen.